There's nothing in this world as great as a seafood restaurant that offers a good all-you-can-eat deal on beloved items like crab and shrimp. Unless you happen to own that restaurant, in which case there's a pretty decent chance it's gonna run you out of business. Which is why today we're gonna take a look at how all-you-can-eat deals took Red Lobster under. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel. After that, please leave a comment and let us know what other restaurant marketing disasters you would like to hear about. Okay, hope you're hungry, because we're about to serve up all the weird history you can eat. Given how French the word buffet is, most people probably assume it was the French who invented the concept of the buffet, but it was actually the Swedish. The idea was drummed up as an easy way to feed travelers passing through and visitors from out of town, and they called it the smorgasbord. Smorgasbord, for the record, means buttered bread board, and they called it that because it started out as just a meal of bread and butter. Over time, however, the spread expanded to include several courses, usually featuring things like salted fish, eggs, vegetables, cold cuts, entrees, salads, and even coffee and dessert. Recognizing a great idea when they saw it, the French later borrowed the concept, refined it a bit, and renamed it a buffet. Despite that, it was the Swedes who would eventually introduce the concept to Americans at the 1939 World's Fair in New York. It was a hit attraction, and its popularity would eventually lead to the creation of buffet-style restaurants. Those restaurants, however, were not all-you-can-eat. The excessively indulgent all-you-can-eat buffet actually originated in the most excessively indulgent city on earth, Las Vegas. According to the accepted wisdom, at some point in the mid-1940s, a casino publicist named Herb McDonald, who was desperate to keep late-night gamblers from leaving to look for food, improvised a buffet on top of the hotel bar using whatever odds and ends he could find in the kitchen. The experiment was a success, and it quickly evolved into the hotel's standard Buckaroo Buffet, which served patrons all they could eat for just $1. It's important to note that the hotel actually lost money on the buffet, but made up the difference through increased gambling activity and customer loyalty. That being the case, it didn't take long before every other hotel in town started copying the idea. Of course, what happens in Vegas doesn't always stay in Vegas. So during the 70s, 80s, and 90s, all-you-can-eat buffet restaurants started popping up all over the country. These included places like Sizzler, Golden Corral, Hometown Buffet, and of course, the seafood giant known as Red Lobster. If you saw our video about the secret behind Red Lobster's Cheddar Bay biscuits, then you know that Red Lobster's famous biscuits were introduced in the early 90s and quickly became their single most popular menu item. It was high times for the chain, which was the US's single largest seafood vendor throughout the decade. In the early aughts, however, some marketing genius at Red Lobster decided it would be a great idea to offer people all the crab they could eat for $23. In all fairness, it seems like a great idea. After all, Americans love crab, and why wouldn't they? They're adorable creatures that dance around singing catchy calypso songs about how great it is to live under the sea. But it's pretty amazing how badly it went. And that's especially true considering Red Lobster is a seafood restaurant chain that goes all the way back to 1968. So you'd think they know how to price seafood in a way that didn't lose them boatloads of money. But there were apparently a few things they didn't count on. For one, the US government put some pretty strict quotas on snow crab farmers in an attempt to keep the crustacean population sustainable. That meant there was a lot less supply, which in turn caused the prices of snow crab to rise steadily. Red Lobster attempted to compensate by raising the price of their endless crab deal, but that just left them operating on a razor-thin profit margin. Then there was the fact that the marketing genius who came up with the whole idea seemed to have drastically underestimated the public's appetite for crab. According to various Red Lobster executives, the problem was that the company was prepared for customers to head back to the buffet for a second plate of crab, but not so much a third, and definitely not a fourth. Yet, that's precisely what happened. The economics of the deal were in fact so awful that at one point, Red Lobster lost over $3 million in just 7 weeks. When all was said and done, the company hemorrhaged money, and in 2003, the value of Red Lobster's stock dropped by over $400 million. For the record, if you're wondering who was to blame, the answer is, we're not entirely sure. But the corporation itself seemed to think it was an executive named Edna Morris Morris. Morris was brought on as president of Red Lobster in 2002 and tasked with returning the company to its roots, whatever that means. The problem, however, was that Morris's background was in all-you-can-eat steakhouse buffet places, and those places tend to deal in foods considerably more filling than crab. Whether any of Morris's fellow executives knew the crab deal was a loser isn't entirely clear, but what is clear is what happened next. Given how the whole endless crab thing went, you'd think the last thing Red Lobster would do to try and right the ship would be to try another version of the same promotion, but you'd be wrong. In fact, it was just a year later that the company unveiled its endless shrimp deal. It's actually not as crazy as it sounds. Chains like Golden Corral and Sizzler had made all-you-can-eat shrimp deals work, and shrimp was considerably cheaper than crab. So it wasn't all that difficult for Red Lobster to let its customers gorge themselves on it. The deal was only offered a few weeks each year, and even then it was only available to customers dining in the restaurant. Takeout orders weren't eligible. In spite of, or perhaps because of that scarcity, Red Lobster fans started looking forward to the yearly reappearance of endless shrimp, in much the same way McDonald's fans anticipated the brief appearances of the McRib and the Shamrock Shake, or Starbucks fans anticipated the comings and goings of the Pumpkin Spice Latte. Over the next few years, Red Lobster leaned into the promotion's popularity, occasionally expanding its duration, and even coming up with a form available for takeout orders. In 2020, they even decided to make it a weekly rather than seasonal event. Every Monday was Endless Shrimp Night, and the company was raking in the dough hand over fist. But of course, nothing lasts forever. 2020 also happened to be the year a Bangkok-based seafood company called Thai Union became Red Lobster's biggest shareholder. And seeing the successful promotion as a way to cash in on all the shrimp it caught, Thai Union made endless shrimp an everyday offering at the restaurant, a decision that cost the company upwards of $11 million in the fourth quarter of 2023 alone. The problem was that the $20 a customer paid for all the shrimp they could eat was actually a bargain compared to most other entrees on the Red Lobster menu, which tended to hover closer to the $35 range. Thrifty customers would then take advantage by sitting at their tables for hours, which hurt the number of people any given location could seat in a night. As for the servers, the reduced bill sizes meant their tips, which are customarily a percentage of the bill, became smaller and smaller, and since less parties were being seated, they were getting less of them. According to one Red Lobster waiter, his tips dropped from an average of $200 a night to an average of $90 a night. Adding insult to injury, those servers also found their time increasingly occupied by customers looking to argue over the all-you-can-eat rules. And what had to be the understatement of the year, one Thai Union executive said of the whole experience, "We need to be much more careful." In 2024, Red Lobster would file for bankruptcy and close down hundreds of locations across various states. In all fairness to the people who came up with the idea, however, that wasn't entirely the result of the endless shrimp fiasco. According to experts, the company was badly mismanaged at a number of levels. For example, Red Lobster's failure to effectively market themselves to any generation younger than the baby boomers made them vulnerable to competition from fast casual restaurants like Chipotle and fast food chains like Chick-fil-A. They also appointed a CEO who dissolved the company's relationship with two of its biggest breaded shrimp suppliers, leaving Thai Union as the exclusive supplier for the whole chain. That raised costs and created supply chain issues, and before anyone knew it, Red Lobster was in the red. There was also the fact that Thai Union cut the chain's labor force to the bone. The servers that remained spent too much of their time refilling plates of endless shrimp, and that further damaged the dining experience. And there's also the fact that the company, which had cycled through a slew of owners and corporate leaders over the past decade, was also swimming in debt. A 2014 sale to a private equity group called Golden Gate Capital resulted in the chain's real estate assets being sold off in what is known as a sale-leaseback agreement. That means Red Lobster had to start paying rent on real estate it once owned, and that wasn't cheap. And of course, let's not forget the whole pandemic thing, which hurt the whole food service industry. Long story short, Thai Union divested from Red Lobster in 2024, taking a $540 million loss in the process. Despite repeatedly hamstringing itself with terrible all-you-can-eat deals, Red Lobster is still out there. In fact, they're even still making deals on shrimp. Needless to say, however, those deals aren't as sweet as the one that nearly drove the company into the ground. No, you won't find endless shrimp on the Red Lobster menu anymore, but as of September 2025, you will find the similarly named Spend Less shrimp deal. Instead of getting all the shrimp you can eat for $20, you'll get 3 types of shrimp on one plate for around $16. Those 3 types being garlic shrimp scampi, shrimp linguine alfredo, and popcorn shrimp. It's not nearly as good a value, but if you like Red Lobster, the upside is they won't be running themselves out of business with the offer. That being said, there are other restaurants that have found ways to make all-you-can-eat buffet deals work. From time to time, Applebee's breaks out its all-you-can-eat double crunch shrimp deal, which costs around $16. And Golden Corral typically offers some kind of shrimp in its all-you-can-eat buffet. If you're wondering whether the endless shrimp offer will ever return, we can only quote the company's current CEO, Damola Adamalakan, who said of the deal, "It's time we officially turn the tides." So while we found some online rumors that suggest the deal is still occasionally offered regionally as a limited time promotion, we wouldn't hold our breath, and we're just gonna assume that goes double for the return of endless crab. Anyway, here's hoping nothing goes wrong with those Cheddar Bay biscuits. So what do you think? And were you a fan of Red Lobster's all-you-can-eat shrimp deal? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, check out some of these other videos from Weird History.